Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Toxtricity. Honestly, I absolutely love Toxtricity. I think it is such a cool mon. It has really high special attack, okay speed at base 75, okay defenses and HP, meaning it should be able to live a couple of hits. And also its attack stat is really high as well at base 98, so you can actually do something with that also. Now, this is an update for Toxtricity because it's got access to some new moves in the Isle of Armor update. If you would like to go check out the previous video, which has some different sets, because Toxtricity honestly just has loads of sets you can do with it, the card is up in the corner. I'd recommend you go check that out at the end of this video. So as I said, Toxtricity, very versatile one. Typically, I've got 6 sets here, including a Gigantamax set. So we're just going to jump straight in. So the first set I've gone for is a Throat Spray set. I think this is probably one of the most typical sets to see on Toxtricity. Throat Spray basically combines with Boom Burst or the Overdrive here, allowing for you to get a +1 on your special attack, because Throat Spray activates when you use a sound-based move. We've then got Punk Rock, which boosts the power of sound-based moves by 1.3 times damage. So 1.3 times damage for sound-based moves. I can't talk. And it also receives half damage from them, so again, that could be really cool. Plus, as an ability, honestly, I've never actually tried using the plus-minus combination because I don't really play doubles, so I don't really know kind of how it would work. But maybe with like a Kling Clang, because I think that gets minus. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might. But that could work really cool. I don't know. I haven't really sorted it out before. And then we've got Technician. Honestly, on this set, Technician isn't very good, but in some instances, I could definitely see Technician being handy on Toxtricity. Okay, so moves, we've got Boom Burst, very powerful, base 140 attack, and I think it has base 100 accuracy as well. It is really, really fantastic. Honestly, it's just such a powerful move. It is normal type, so it is neutral on most things except for like Rock, Steel, and Ghost, which are problematic, but it covers a lot of different mons. And then you also have Overdrive, which is neutral on Rock, Steel, and Ghost. So both of those moves together, you get at least neutral on everything. And Overdrive, I believe, is the signature move for Toxtricity. I don't think anything else learns it, but it is base 80 damage, has 100% accuracy, and is boosted by Stab as well, so that's really cool, along with the Punk Rock boosting that even more also. Sludge Wave, which is a powerful poison type attack boosted by Stab, has a 10% chance to poison a Pokemon, which can be handy. And finally, I've put Thunder Wave on here because, honestly, with your speed at base 75, the Thunder Wave can allow for you to paralyze, I couldn't think of the word, to paralyze the opposing Pokemon, and that reduces down their speed, potentially enough for you to outspeed them. There are a couple of ways that you can run your EVs on this. You could either go for a max HP and max special attack with a modest nature, so more special attack, less attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. Or if you're working more in that Thunder Wave kind of scenario, maybe if you have sticky webs or something, you could definitely go for max HP, max speed on this thing. Oh, sorry, not max HP, max speed, max special attack, with possibly even a timid nature, timid or modest, depending on what you want to go for, whether you want a faster version or a higher attacking version. So it is up to you. Moving on to, oh yeah, I should say as well, there are slight differences between I assume it's high key. I know that I'm going to say yellow and blue. Yellow and blue. The yellow and blue forms, there are slight differences between them. I think they have slight differences in their abilities yet. So low key Toxtricity gets minus and Toxtricity gets plus. And I think they have the same stats. I'm just going to double check that. Yeah, they get the same stats. So that's fine. And there is one move that they don't, like, each of them learns exclusively, and I can't remember what it is. I think one of them is Venom Drench and one of them is Eerie Impulse. But I'm not 100% sure. You'll have to look on Cerebi for that one, but I don't think I use any of them in this video. If I do, I'll point it out. Right, okay, sorry for that sidetrack. The second set I've gone for is a Power Up Punch on a low-key form of Toxtricity, and I've gone for Technician as the ability. Technician, you get 1.5 times damage on the Power Up Punch, whilst getting that +1 in your attack, which could work very, very nicely for you. Assault Vest combination here as well. If you watched some of my videos before, you'll have seen the Power Up Punch Assault Vest combination. It's one of my staple sets, so I like doing that, having Power Up Punch and having Assault Vest there as well. We've then got Gunk Shot, which is a powerful poison type attack. It's boosted by Stab, and honestly, with your increased attack power, it should be able to potentially sweep some different Pokemon. Wild Charge is a powerful electric type attack. It does do some recoil though, so do be very cautious about that. Just having a look if there's any other physical electric type attacks. Maybe Thunder Punch. Yeah, so you got Thunder Punch there if you want to go for something with a little bit less power, but want to have or want to not have the HP dwindling. Because obviously, if you've raised up maybe 2 or 3 power-up punches, that might be quite difficult to do again. So something for you to consider. Obviously, it's up to you how you decide to run it. And finally, I'm going for Fire Punch, just because Fire Punch is cool. I think that would just hit a few different Pokemon that could benefit you in some scenarios. Eevee's gone for max HP and max attack with a Adamant Nature, so more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. I do think that having the max HP here could work nicely. It allows you to be able to live a few more hits and allows for you to be very good on your very high on your special defense. You could always run max HP, max special defense with a Calm Nature, I want to say. Might be careful. With a Careful Nature, if you wanted to, it's entirely up to you, obviously based on what you want for your team. I should always say you are able to tweak these sets however you see fit. It's not this set is the only set that you can run. Moving on to the third Toxtricity, and we have a toxic set of Hex. So on here I have put Toxic on Toxtricity. Basically, Toxic can be really good in racking up damage on walling Pokemon. I just couldn't think of the word there. Any Pokemon that do any walls, that become walls, I cannot talk today. It racks up damage on them, and also setup sweepers, if they can't set up, if they're going to have that Toxic dwindling them down, or if they do set up, they are going to not have enough time to sweep your team, so having Toxic can be really helpful there also. We've then got Venoshock and Hex, so you can Toxic basically any Pokemon except for Toxic types, for Poison types and Steel types, and then you can get the Venoshock and the Hex depending on what's going to be more effective on them, because they both get doubled in power when you have Toxic them. So honestly, having that combination there, I really like, and having that bit of option to choose what you want to go for can work nicely as well. And then finally we've got Overdrive. Overdrive again, just powerful electric type attack. Gone for Punk Rock here because it does boost that Overdrive ever so slightly. And Technician isn't going to be relevant to the Venoshock or the Hex. You've got Leftovers as an item here as well, so you can heal up yourself also. Eevee's got max HP and max special attack with a modest nature, so more special attack, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. Now for the next set we have got our first Dynamax set. So on here I've given this Toxtricity a Choice Specs. Choice Specs allows for you to have 1.5 times in your special attack, but when you're Dynamax it is not activated, so you can choose whatever moves you want. So one move you're definitely going to want to use is Rising Voltage. Rising Voltage will set up the electric terrain for you, and when you come back to normal, you get 2 times power if the target is grounded in the electric terrain. So obviously, if it's a flying type Pokemon, it's probably going to take double damage anyways, unless it's like, you know, a Gliscor, but Gliscor isn't in the game currently. You've then got, so anything that's grounded will take the double damage, which can work really well. If you have a Gravity Pokemon as well, or like, I can't think of Pokemon that learn Gravity. I think Gigalith learns Gravity. That could work really well for you also. We've then got Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave turns to Max Ooze, increasing up your special attack stat by 1 stage, which can work very nicely for you also. Then you've got Boom Burst, which is a powerful normal type attack, which can obviously hit a variety of different Pokemon. If you ever wanted to go for like Throat Spray on here, you could definitely go for that also, because obviously you would get the raise up from the Boom Burst there as well. Obviously you'd have to do that outside of Dynamax, but that would work quite nicely for you. And then finally I've gone for Taunt on there. Now Taunt is just there in case you need to max guard, but it also stops things from trying to like burn you, for example, and just being a pain in general. But that is entirely up to you what you decide to do there and how you decide to run it. Okay, moving on to Gigantamax Toxtricity, I've gone for a physical version of this set here, and I'm just going to quickly double check Toxtricity's G-Max move. So Toxtricity's G-Max move is G-Max Stun Shock. So it's the move either poisons or paralyzes the opponent. The one issue with G-Max Toxtricity is you don't get the choice there. It's the same with G-Max Butterfree. It's just random based on whether they get paralyzed or whether they get poisoned. So whilst you will definitely get one of them, you may want one over the other, so it can be a bit of a problem. But that is entirely up to you, and honestly, you can normally work with it. So on here, I have got Drain Punch, which when you Gigantamax will increase up your attack stat using Max Knuckle. Thunder Punch, which returns to G-Max Stun Shock, which will either poison or paralyze the Pokemon, as I said, can work, can also not work. You've then got Fire Punch, which is a powerful fire-type attack that hits a variety of different Pokemon, and also can set up the Sun if you're Dynamax, which again can work very, very nicely for you, especially if you've got a Chlorophyll user in your team. And then I've gone for Nuzzle. Now, I thought Nuzzle can work really well in controlling whether you paralyze or poison the opposing Pokemon, because then you can choose whether you want to poison them. But you could always go for a variety of different things. So you've got things like Gunk Shot, which you go for again, Poison Jab. You have got Throat Chop if you want to go for that also. So lots of different things that you do actually have access to. Not to mention you could probably even go for things like Protect on here if you needed it. Or even, I'm just having a look through, or even Facade, even Encore could work quite nicely on this set, so it's entirely up to you. There's lots of different variants you can do this, and I hope that's given you a couple of ideas for Toxtricity. I've gone for the red card here because if you get hit by a Pokemon that you don't really want to get hit by, you don't necessarily have to take another hit from them. It will red card them out, and if they want to get them back in, you then essentially get a free turn. I put Punk Rock on here. I think I just left Punk Rock as the general move here. Any of these abilities, it doesn't really matter what you go for. Eevee's gone for max HP and max attack with an adamant nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. Honestly, I find it quite difficult to run G-Max Toxtricity just because of that G-Max Stun Shock having paralysis or poisoning, but this is an idea to run it. You could also run a very similar version with Loki. This Toxtricity that I've gone for previously, that I went for the Dynamax version, but you could always go for like Overdrive instead of Rising Voltage. You could even go for Rising Voltage, but obviously you're not going to be able to set up the electric terrain very easily because when you Dynamax, your G-Max Stun Shock means that you can't use the Max Lightning, so something for you to consider. And finally, this is another set that I really love to run on Toxtricity. We've got Shiftgear. Now, Shiftgear increases up the speed by 2 stages and the attack by 1 stage. So, doubling your speed to basically 500, which is very, very nice. And then 1.5 in your attack. Again, very nice. I put a Life Orb in here, which boosts that up 1.3 times even more. Obviously, you don't have to go for that. You could go for like Leftovers. You could go for an assortment of things like any berries. You could go for not choice band, like, I don't know. Red card, lots of different things that you've got options of. Or even Air Balloon. Air Balloon could probably work quite nicely on this as well. So move-wise, we've got Poison Jab, powerful poison type attack. I decided to go over Gunk Shot on this one because Gunk Shot does have that accuracy, chance to miss, and as you're going to have a heightened attack stat, having that Poison Jab could work. But obviously you can go for the Gunk Shot if you want. We've got Wild Charge, which again, you can go for Thunder Punch. It's up to you what you decide to go for. And then finally, I've gone for Drain Punch. Drain Punch allows for you to heal yourself up a little bit, which can work very nicely in general, because obviously, when you're setting up your Shiftgear, you're probably going to take some damage. And if there's any Pokemon that has priority, you might be taking damage as well. So that Drain Punch just allows you to keep yourself healthy. Also, with the Life Orb, Drain Punch combines really well with it. EV's gone for max attack and max speed with an adamant nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. Anyways, that is all for today, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.